Hi, favored ones. Welcome to Soul Talk. Our guest for today is Tita Belai or Annabelle Gruenberg. And I have known her since pre-pandemic pa when we used to join workshops together. But she is a counselor and she is a facilitator of biography work. She uses integrative counseling. So, pag kailangan ng clients niya ng integrative doctors, she can recommend them doctors who also practice anthroposophical medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, and Ayurveda. So let's all welcome Tita Belay. Soul Talk. Hi, Tita Belay. So glad that you're here.
Good day. Thank you very much, Michelle. It's so wonderful to see you again. And thank you very much for this space and for inviting me. Thank
Tagal
you.
na natin nagkita. Pero I'm really very interested talaga with biography work because I've been hearing it from you ever since. But I don't really know that much about it. Mas iba laging napag-uusapan natin. So this is the space for you to share what biography work is all about.
All right. Actually, the biography work is working on your life story, no? Kaya biography work. For the writers, they use it to make their memoirs and their autobiography. But for most of us, it's just living your life consciously. So to understand the present, to put it simply, to understand what's going on in your present life, we have to trace back your backstories, your childhood, even the story of how you were conceived if your parents are still around, because they affect your now. So you can understand your now. Now, and if you understand your now, then you live your life consciously. You understand why this is happening, because that happened, like C happened because A, B brought you to C. No? And when you know that, then you can design your future consciously, mindfully. So that is what it is all about. And I was not the one who designed it. No.
Okay. Kasi kayo lang ang narinig ko na facilitator of biography work. So I don't know the history of it all and what modality this. You also use this as a modality for counseling.
Yes, I include it in counseling. I think it's very effective. Let's backtrack on the. I have to give a very short history. This was part of the work of a scientist, a philosopher, and at the same time somebody who's into spirituality, and his name is Dr. Rudolf Steiner, and he started the movement called anthroposophical movement. When you say anthroposophy, it's a spiritual path. It's not a religion. It's not a cult. No, it's more of a philosophy. And the way I saw it was anthroposophy means the study of man. So it's learning about the human being. And a human being is composed of body, soul, and spirit. See? So that's the whole philosophy behind it. And being conscious about it. And when people asked Rudolf Steiner about different fields, like in medicine and education, he would sort of find methods and tools to address that. Like for education, we have the Waldorf education movement. Waldorf education is we teach the children to use educating the head, the heart, and the hands. Simply put, because you have the body, soul, and spirit. So the thinking, the feeling, and willing, which is action. That's what we want to develop with the early childhood. It's K to 12. And then, so biography was part of an awareness about, well, let me rephrase that. It's part of a therapeutical tool, and it was actually developed, inspired by Rudolf Steiner, by Bernard Livigood. He's a Dutch man. Livigood started this whole biography work method, and there are now trainings about it, and abroad usually. There are also art therapy, anthroposophical medicine, which is more of homeopathic treatments and other modalities. Maybe an anthroposophical doctor would be the best person to talk about it. So I work with an anthroposophical doctor. Now I refer patients to, if I feel there's a need to go into the physical body to support the psychological and emotional process. Since I'm not a doctor, I'm a psychologist who believes in integrative method. I refer. I even also refer clients to traditional Chinese medicine practitioners and doctors. So really holistic, where they're comfortable. I look for, I'm just grateful I know medical doctors practicing integrative methods. So we have to look for which one can work. That's how individual it is, personalized it is. Yeah, so that's the background of it all. Let's go to biography work.
Oh, pero what led you practicing biography work? What led you?
All
Kasi
right.
if I'm
It
not
all
mistaken, you were a teacher before, di ba? Tama ba?
Yeah. I taught for 32 years, mainstream first, and then I met Waldorf education. That's how I met anthroposophy, through one of the founders, Mary Joan Fajardo, who was my teacher in PETA. I got interested in Waldorf education because it was something different. It was so holistic. And they emphasized the importance of the parents and the teachers working together, so that the child, parang there's consistency, parang ganon. And coming from the mainstream, parang, wow, this is really fantastic, Children are learning the academics through the arts. The arts are into equal footing, yeah. And I was in the theater, I was in, these things, I was studying dancing, and I said, all the arts are incorporated in the academics. And that's the best way to teach the academics. So I got so interested in that. But I felt my calling was in the admin work, because I think the time I was with LaSalle and doing the visual and performing arts office. So I took a training in Waldorf administration. And that's where I got into biography work in a deeper way. But before that, there was a biography worker who came to the Philippines in 1989, 1990, around that time, Kent Holstrom, and he was my first mentor. And when he saw I was a psychologist, he said, that's a problem. They allow,
Okay. All right. So first
bakit na lang,
mentor.
no? Ayan. So, anyway, magulo yung kwento ko. So, he came to the Philippines in, I think 1999 or earlier. And then he did biography work for a few of us who were starting the anthroposophical movement. And I resonated to it. I resonated with it. Erase. I resonated with it. And then he said, you know, you can practice this because you're a psychologist. And then I had the opportunity to go into it deeper or deeply. To go into it when I took up my Waldorf admin and community development course in Spring Valley, New York. And there. So I started practicing it. Yeah, this is history. I started practicing it. I wasn't able to take the formal. There's a full course, 2-year course for it, but I had mentors because they knew I'm here. So I just started to develop with their help the process. I was more into writing because I have a background in creative writing. So it was more of biography writing. That's what I started to develop. We have some art therapists here now in the Philippines. They do bio art, but I'm more trained in the writing, which I started.
But
so that's it.
Work,
so
tama ba? May body, soul, so physical body, soul, and spirit. What's the spiritual component?
What's the spirit?
What the spiritual component?
Okay. In a nutshell, so you have the physical body, which you can see, no? The matter.
Yes.
Which we have in common. And we know that when you say soul, it's the feeling realm. Kaya nga psychology.
Psyche.
It's more of emotions and everything. But when you say spiritual, it's not religion, but that makes you human. That is where in the spiritual realm that you have your thinking, your capacity to make judgment, your capacity to have morals. Those are not emotions. They're in the thinking process. And that's the spiritual realm. Because if we go biblically, in the Genesis it says, like, let us make man in our image. That makes us different from the other creatures, right? And if there was one capacity that we were given that was not given to the other creatures, was the capacity to think. And that's where conscience is, morality is, being able to judge which is right and wrong is in the thinking. That's why we can say I. That's why we can speak. That is what we have in common with the gods. And that's the spiritual aspect.
It's a quite different definition from what I'm usually. That's really nice to know. Since you're a facilitator of biography work and you resonate, how does it impact your daily life, your choices, so in lifestyle mo and all that?
I got to understand what was going on in my life. I got to understand the challenges, the pains, the mistakes I made. Well, we don't get immune from it. It's part of our destiny. It's part of our biography, our life story, because we undergo this to learn. The point is, you should look at the learnings.
Okay.
You should be able to transform. Yeah. You should be able to transform all these pains. I mean, been there, done it. All these pains. Yeah.
Nakakahanap naman ng resolution. Nakakahanap ng resolution.
Resolution and transformation. Kasi like, it's up to you if you will include this. I was an abused child. See, if I did not understand this as I grew older, well, I did not understand it when I was young, but biography work helped me understand that It's something that happened to me because it was teaching me something. It was not right. It was a very difficult lesson, but it taught me, of course, not to do it again. Kasi yung iba, nagre-recycle like, abuse gets recycled.
Pattern
And
is still
that
there.
was how biography, the trauma is there, the unresolved things. And then, so you get to transpose it, to transform it, because you are aware. And it still hits you, trauma is still there. As I said, you don't get immune, you don't get superpowers, overcoming it. No, it will sometimes resurface. And that's part of our shadow. But if you're aware, then you can make it into opportunities. You can make it, you become, one lesson I've learned was compassion and empathy. Like when I get clients, I could empathize, not just by words. I know how it felt. And so the dynamics in counseling becomes different kasi alam mo it's not from the book. It's not just head. It's not just knowledge. It's not a theory. It was an experience for me. So the empathy becomes real and the compassion. And one thing beautiful about knowing biography work is that every client is a mirror of you for me. And I find myself resolving a lot of my issues when I do counseling, especially in biography work, kasi nami-mirror ka eh. So it's like homeopathic medicine. That's why I think that's one of the things that Rudolf Steiner developed. Like heals like. So you don't judge, you don't label your client, you don't put, those, ang daming labels ngayon sobra. If they don't understand, they will put a label to it. Di ba? Uso yan. No, you don't. You look at the experience. That is what biography taught me because I've been there. And because I know when they tell me about their past, that's why I could help facilitate their understanding of their present. Kasi until it's resolved, it will recur. It will face you. And sometimes it becomes physical. Because our cells have memories, no? And if it's not resolved, it becomes an illness. So if you do not understand your illness, this is where I get help from the integrative doctors, is that you just take over-the-counter drugs. But it's just over-the-counter drugs are just addressing the symptoms. They are not going into the root cause. And also that's why sometimes integrative doctors, especially anthroposophical doctors, they refer clients also to us if they see that there are inner issues on the soul level that needs to be addressed. So we work together.
That's why
Did I?
collaboration.
Meron. Kaya integrative.
But your work is so
that's what,
fun, ha?
I don't know if I answered your question, Michelle.
Of course you did. Of course you did,
okay.
no? But it's a very interesting work. Very interesting work. Pero, how does it affect you? If,
What do you mean?
Kasi yes, you get healing, di ba, from the counseling, from the clients, di ba, and all that. But, you get to empathize and iba parang correct me if I'm wrong nakaka-relieve ba yun ulit ng sarili mong trauma? It does.
It does.
How do you manage that?
Okay.
That's a question. How do you manage that?
Hard work. Kasi there are therapies that are not empaths and not sensitive, highly sensitive. I'm glad there are now, there's a consciousness now of empaths and highly sensitive people. So they see things differently. things from the outside come to them differently. They're more sensitive, so they
Yes.
feel beyond, they hear beyond. So I think it's a common knowledge now. So we need to be aware of that. I was just sharing with you, sometimes I get so much affected, especially if it's with kids, children who are abused. I can't do biography. Biography pala is good only for 28 and above. That's when you start to have your biography na at 28. So I have different processes and workshops for 28 and below, especially by phases. Kasi by phases ang biography, 0 to 7, 7 to 14, 14 to 21. I explain that in my workshops. Now, what happens is that I do get affected. With all honesty, I will not pretend to say no. That's why I have to find ways to not shield, but be able to let go. I need to separate. Yeah, I need to work. That one is hard work for me because it's automatic to be so compassionate and empathic. And sometimes it leads to illnesses. So I go to acupuncture. I go after a difficult session, I would book for an acupuncture or a massage.
Pero ang galing, no? Kasi parang everything that you have done in the past, it seems that it really led to this kind of work. Right now, could you say what's the purpose behind all of this? After knowing your story, your own biography, what is it that you're here to do? Learn.
Come again, that last one. Nagkarpol.
What are you meant to do in this life or to learn in this life?
I'm 63 now. In biography, 63 means you're already in your grace period.
That's a nice term.
Interesting, na?
Yes.
Yeah, grace period na. So you don't do things anymore. I hope I got it right. Because you have to, but it's a choice, and you're preparing for your next life. You're preparing for death. You want a beautiful, I want a beautiful death, my gosh. And how you live your life affects how you're gonna die. In biography work, we talk about that. So I'm working towards now preparing for death and my next life. Now, I hope I already did what I was supposed to do. Teach, do counseling, and all. And what my question now is, okay, what else am I supposed to do for the world? And there's some, Michelle, there's a problematic, which causes problematic outlook, perception, because of social media. Yung, to be happy, you have to do what you love to do and want to do. But
that's
the
not
problem
always
is
the case. That's not always the case.
That's right. That's not always the case because, okay, I'm happy. But then why do I get clients na, I'm happy, I have money and I have everything. I'm happy. I'm supposed to be happy, but how come I'm not happy? Why do I feel empty? That emptiness is because you're not doing your life mission. Why you came here for. Before you came here, you have set some sort of blueprint of your life mission. And sometimes, and in biography work, we have exercises to recall that. We want to recall that. Yeah. There are ages wherein the spiritual world would whisper to you, these were your intentions. And it comes so subtle, you need to catch it. And if you're doing your life intention, that is exactly going to give you fulfillment, peace, tranquility, and joy. So it's not about, I want. That's so sometimes very irresponsible. Especially now in social media, you can edit this. We tend to become very narcissistic and self-serving. This is the effect also of, this is the shadow of the multimedia, wherein it's all about you. I'm sorry, it's not all about you. If you look at your biography, it was never all about you, because one item there in the chart is about the people you have encountered. We encounter people every day. So that means it's not all about you. The world doesn't revolve around one person. So that we need to understand. So we don't get depressed. If a relation doesn't work, we must know when to say goodbye and all. So going back to the question, at 63, I'm asking, okay, what else am I supposed to do? What else do you want me to do? Because the spirits need the physical body of the human being. They can guide us, they can inspire us, but the spirits do not have the physical body. We do. So we need to work with them. There has to be a working together of the spirit and the human being, which I hope we remember. I hope we remember that.
Yeah, so this is where the spiritual integration comes in.
Yeah, yes. Thank you for seeing that. Thank you for connecting that. Yeah.
Spiritual integration in all of the things that, even if the things that we're doing is not really connecting to spirit, our heads, in reality, there is always a connection. So we just need to find ways on how
to go back. Because remember, when we die, we let go of the physical body, so we become spirits again.
But
and if we believe in
interesting,
reincarnation, diba? Yeah.
Interesting that you mentioned about the grace period wherein you are preparing for death, you're preparing for the next
Death,
life, if
the next life.
in the concept of reincarnation. Ano ba dapat yung nangyayari sa grace period in preparation to have a better life sa next?
You were given how many years and decades to learn? That's why you commit mistakes. You make decisions. you go into trial and everything. Sana naman at 63, you know better, di ba? You know better na, hello, last trip na ito. So, I might as well make it good. Pack the right things in my baggage, in my luggage. Remove the excess. Pack the right things. Take on the right things. Let go of what is not needed anymore. And yeah, and remember, you're in between life and death already. So definitely it's not about you. It's already, you're in between humanity and the spirit. You're kaya nga crossing over the threshold. We call death as that. We cross the threshold from matter to spirit. So
beautifully worded.
It's
beautifully worded. I love the
thank you,
the visualization that you're showing
of
us right now.
Yeah, Rudolf Steiner described it as that. And what meets you is your angel. So you're gonna review what happened. So of course, what do you want to review when you hit 63?
Na tayo
My God,
60s.
something that hindi anymore what you have done at 21, 22, 23. You don't want to see that at 60. You know, kaya nga in biography, I tell them, at 50, you're golden. You're golden at 50. So you have to sustain that being gold. You know, you cannot just do mundane things. You have to do deeper things. You're becoming spirit again. So maybe if you put that in your head, then you're preparing for that. And you remove the fear of dying as part of the preparation. You don't travel and have fear. Diba? You look forward to the journey. You look forward to exploration. So I think that's how we should prepare for death. And understand also the body is already weakening. The vessel becomes weakened kasi maglulose na eh. So it loosens so the soul and the spirit can excarnate. We call it can live. So there should be a deeper relationship with the body now. As a former vessel, that vessel was properly used. And so you take care of it in a more conscious way. You don't eat junk food anymore, sana. You eat the right food when you're older, and you have to understand that's why all the illnesses are happening because of all the synthetic things we put in. And Michelle, I'm so against anti-aging. I'm sorry. Can I mention this?
Naman.
We have to embrace, we have to embrace aging. Please, wag naman anti. Parang antiperspirant, antibiotic, antifungal. Hello, anti-aging. I mean, why anti-aging? Aging is the process of crossing over. We should, embrace it. What we're after is aging in a healthy way. Hindi
Gracefully.
anti.
Aging gracefully.
Yes. Gracefully, grace-filled. Kasi yan din yung sa 60 eh. The graces now you use. Kasi the body is weakening eh. So it's the graces that you have accumulated that will help you sustain life on earth while you're waiting for that time. So please stop using the word anti-aging. I hope the listeners would think about it.
I love what you're
bacteria.
sharing. I love what you're sharing right now. And it's really resonating because I'm in my early 40s right now. Parang
Congratulations.
one more decade, nasa gold na pala ako. Parang like, oh my God, time is really moving so fast. Time is moving.
Diba? Alchemy ka na. Nag-alchemize ka na. Diba sa alchemy, some chemical things that like lead are transposed into gold. Imagine how beautiful the process
so
is.
So yung 40s parang alchemizing yung process.
So some people find it so hard.
That's why a lot of people in their 40s flourish talaga. Flourish when they get to find the formula to alchemize.
Right. And sometimes it's a battlefield also for a lot. At 40, kasi that's when your shadow comes out there and says, hello, I'm your shadow.
Unless we have done the work early. Unless we've done the work early, then it shouldn't pop out again.
Right. I agree with you. And also it's part of the polishing to turn really golden gold, that sparkling, shimmering gold. It's part of the polishing. The shadow has to come out. Kasi di ba, yung when you clean gold, talagang dadaan yan sa darkness. Oh. Just that action of rubbing.
Yes.
Then it shines. Right. That's it. That's what we want to achieve.
A lot of metals. Parang talaga tela na ginagamit from.
Diba darkness yun?
I love this conversation.
Thank you, Michelle. I love having a conversation with you.
Kasi sakto rin, before you, the previous guest, Julie, she's also a counselor for highly sensitive children.
Wow.
So she introduced what highly sensitive is all about. So for me kasi it's a new concept that I learned And I'm
Yeah.
surprised that here
Mhm.
in the Philippines, in your circles, it's already accepted. Where have I?
Yes.
I must
Yes.
be living under the rock for quite a while.
Not anymore. Not anymore. That's why in the Waldorf school, we believe that every child is an individual being, spirit meeting you.
It must
And
be
that's how I
interesting,
always,
no? How
yeah,
the Waldorf school would structure education.
yes.
It's
Yeah.
not progressive, it's not traditional.
No.
No, it's different, no? It's different. If we combine yung body, the soul and
Soul
spirit,
and spirit.
it's
Thinking,
different.
feeling, and willing. Yeah. It's actually going back to the basic. It's going back to the basic of what is a human being. So, ganun din sa counseling. You look at each counselee as an individual. Kaya walang fixed formula also sa process. Wala. Kaya I do away with the labels. It's good to have a benchmark. Yeah, like when they come to me and say I'm so and so and so and so. It's good that there's a benchmark, but we go beyond that. Kasi sometimes they live by their their label eh.
Very interesting. I love this conversation. But before we end, perhaps you could invite all of us to kung kailan ulit magkakaroon ng workshop for biography work. Is it meron bang upcoming or we have to self-organize it if you want to have one?
The face to face I think I have to do it to get abuelo again because for a long time I was doing it online one-on-one. Now I am open for invitation. You may get in touch with me. I'm on Facebook. You look for Belai, Belai, Gruenberg. I'm also on Instagram as biography worker. Or you can email me at biographywork@gmail.com.
May mga
It would be
handles.
nice.
All your handles are about biography work.
Yeah, except my Facebook. It's Belai. And I think I prefer at this moment that a group would invite me. They would organize
Can
themselves,
I ask,
friends.
how long does a biography work? Weekend lang ba yan? Or, kasi you have to go deep di ba?
Yeah. So what I do is that, but I'll let you know if I organize one myself, no? 2 days, but with 5-day interval. Kasi you have to do homework eh. You have to make the chart. So if I do it, I start, day 1 would be Saturday, day 2 would be Sunday. Or either Sunday,
The next,
and then Saturday
after a
to give
week.
yeah.
After a week.
Dapat may interval. But
For the
I do have
assignments.
invitation. Yeah. But I do have invitations out of town. So what we
Lovely.
do 3 days. I have one in Cavite for a group this coming but I think it's really for their group.
Yes.
3 days, 2 nights.
So there's one day for them to do the needed assignment.
Yes. And the dynamics would be different. The process would be different. Kasi I have to squeeze that in 2 nights and 3 days. So it's going to be different, but the content would be still the same. The process. And then after that, they are free to have a one-on-one consultation with me if they want to. Because I have designed my biography work in such a way that due to confidentiality, there will be no sharing. Yeah, you don't have to show and tell. So it's even an option to do a one-on-one. Maybe I can facilitate it without you sharing anything. Yeah.
All right, so now we know where to reach you. And of course, if hindi yun nakuha yun, just ask me. I'll
Yes,
I'll
Michelle.
lead
Yeah.
Tita
Yeah.
Belai. But thank you
Right.
so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for spending this
Thank you.
time and creating this space together with and sharing your work, of course, sharing your work. I learned a lot from, I'm surprised. Parang sabi ko, okay, I should have known this way before pa, pero ngayon lang talaga nagkaroon ng chance to talk about it. So most probably, this is really the time that I need to hear it as well.
Thank you very much for inviting me and for giving me this space. We need it most at this time. I think we need biography. Without plugging it, we need biography more at this time, especially after the COVID, for people to really go into themselves and not be afraid to confront themselves so they can transform. There you go.
So thank you so much, Tita Belai. And for those who are watching,
Thank you very much, Michelle.
whether you're watching live or on the replay, I hope that you enjoyed our conversation. And remember that you're highly empowered and truly blessed, and let's all live our purpose. So if biography work is calling you, it's resonating, you can always get in touch with Isabella. She's really such a nice
Yes.
person. God bless everyone.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Thank you very much.